Hey, what's up guys, it's Fish here and welcome back my glorious bannerman to some Total War Warhammer. So I was lucky enough to be invited up to an event at Creative Assembly where I managed to actually go ahead and record some Vampire Counts action for you guys, and it was really awesome of them to invite me up. Obviously this is a work in progress build, so things you might see in this might not actually translate to the actual game, and there might be a few bugs here and there, so just keep that in mind when you're watching this. But yes, today we're going to be looking at the Battle of ZHUFBAR, and I also am going to be uploading a battle at Karak where the orcs and goblins have actually taken over the fortress. So the fortress is actually completely defaced. You can see this mountain hold just looking completely spectacular. And now we're going to look at some of the dwarven architecture on the wall. And if you go ahead and watch my other video where the goblins and orcs have this is completely different. You know, this has all been defaced, this has been chopped up, the stone's been whacked away, and they've kind of put, the orcs and goblins have kind of put their own look on it, which is really, really awesome that the architecture kind of changes depending on what faction owns the province. And you can see ZHUFBAR, again, this is actually a little bit different to the other battle. You know, this kind of thing has two gates, it's actually kind of a bit of a longer outer wall compared to Karak. I'm not sure if that was because the settlement was upgraded at this point or what. I didn't actually have enough time to look at that. And again, if you want to kind of see more epic like epic monster units, I'd recommend going over after watching this to actually watch my other battle, because that battle has a lot more flying units, it has a bunch more like actual crazy monsters, whereas this battle, because it's led by my level 1 necromancer, is kind of not really that much crazy magic, and it's kind of more of just, you know, a standard zombie army, kind of just advancing with the hordes. You know, I don't really have any flying units, I don't have any crazy zombie monsters or anything like that. So it's just going to go ahead and kind of be just a nice little march with the zombies, trying to take the wall away from the dwarfs. Because as I said, this doesn't have the biggest garrison in the city, but it's actually a fairly decent sized one compared to the other cities. Like, I think they actually have like 3 or 4 more actual garrison units in ZHUFBAR than they did in Karak, which is the other battle I fought. So it's still very much in my favour, but it's still going to be interesting nonetheless to see how my hordes can hold out against them. And I also do actually have direwolves in this army as well, which I didn't actually get to look at in the last battle, so getting a glimpse at the direwolves has been really awesome. Some really light, fast cavalry. And there's, oh, look how awesome that ram looks. Just look at that skull head just smashed down the gate. That is really, really cool. And just like this essence just coming off of it. You know it's bad news when you see something like that happening. And the spikes. That's really, really awesome. And I really, really love the gates, like the crafted in dwarven gates. It just looks amazing. And the nice thing is, when you're comparing this to the orcs and goblins dwarven hold when they've taken it over, the gate and all the walls and everything is just so completely different, so it kind of feels like fighting a new battle. And there are my dire wolves just waiting. They're getting shot a little bit, but hey, we've got the men to waste. We definitely have the men to waste. So we're pushing up our siege towers now, which are equipment which you actually have to craft before the battle. So siege towers and rams you have to go ahead and actually build before the siege happens. However, every unit actually gets access to ladders to go ahead and deploy on the walls and actually go up the walls, which is very, very interesting for a Total War siege. Because, you know, if the dwarfs manage to like bog me down with their units in one of the areas, oh, that's so cool. My skeleton spearmen just jumping off trying to fight these dwarfs. You know, so if the dwarfs actually manage to go ahead and bog me down in a certain area and there's kind of a lot of space on the walls, I can use that space to go ahead and move my men up on the ladders. My ram's coming up. Yeah, so this is a bug I had in the previous battle as well, which they said they've now fixed. Basically, if the enemy have kind of a unit around the area, it kind of opens the gate and kind of makes it a little bit buggy. But they said they fixed it now, and obviously this is a work in progress, so there's going to be things which aren't obviously perfect. But, you know, it was amazing that they managed to let me show. Oh, that was a really nice charge into the side of the enemy there. Some thunderers right there. You know, these dwarfs are going to be just pretty much wrecking my infantry on the walls unless I can get some more up there. So you can see I'm sending some men to actually go ahead and climb these walls with their ladders. So this is kind of a clear example of what I'm saying. You know, they're kind of holding me down with their fewer numbers on these certain choke points, but then I can just go ahead and advance all my men up and kind of start using these areas where they're not chilling around, and actually using these to kind of get more men on the wall to go ahead and support where they are, like, kind of holding me. My skeleton warriors fighting some dwarfs there. Dwarfs fighting very valiantly. The Thunderers getting out their rifles again. Hopefully they don't just point blank volley me. So the dwarfs are going to be pushing back to try and get a better position, and my warriors are going to chase them. A bit of one-on-one between a Thunderer and a skeleton warrior. Or a couple skeleton warriors. All the Thunderers are coming back to save their friend. Oh, and he gets wrecked. R.I.P. My skeleton warriors are doing a very, very good job at taking the wall. The dwarves have done a very nice job as well, actually blocking up around this gate. They're definitely preventing us from making any ground up there whatsoever. The zombies are moving up, and so is my level 1 necromancer. He's moving up. I think the only ability he has is the ability to give zombies more life at the moment. So his magic isn't really top tier level. It's just basically a tier 1 level at the moment. But just look how awesome them walls look. And that gate. And you know, this is actually only a section of the wall. So for those of you who are saying that these sieges are going to be kind of small now, you know, I'm literally fighting on probably a third to a quarter of the map right now. You know, these armies can spawn all across here, which kind of gives them a really, really epic experience. You know, if you have a 4v4 or something along them lines, you're literally going to be fighting all along this one massive wall, which is just going to be so much fun. You can see my zombies moving up this ladder now. So the cool thing about the ladders as well is if you decide to use these ladders, you take a massive debuff at climbing up. So if the defenders are ready to meet the people climbing up on the ladders, it means that the attackers are going to receive a massive debuff actually climbing up here. You can see my men are actually getting pretty wrecked by their miners right now. And their dwarven warriors. So there kind of is a bit of counterplay to this. So even though the attackers can kind of get up anywhere along the wall without siege equipment, if the defenders are ready to meet them, it's going to cause a lot of pain. And kind of allows the defenders, you know, to kind of get in the right position. So I've got my skeleton warriors up here, trying to push back these dwarfs. These dwarfs are sturdy folk though, they will not surrender for no one. I think I'm running up my general as well at some point very soon. He's going to go ahead and try and get up on the walls. You can see one of my units actually crumbled, which is a very unique thing for the undead. Basically, the undead do not rout. They refuse to rout, which is really cool. But instead, they crumble, where they just lose hit points over time. So if they get surrounded, or the leader dies or something like that, they'll slowly crumble and they'll slowly lose hit points over time, which is what you just saw there. My skeleton warriors have now taken the gate on the walls, allowing me to push men through the gatehouse. Wonderful warriors there, and we're going to meet some sturdy dwarven resistance there. I think I'm up against some miners with their pickaxes down there at the gate. Oh, we actually managed to smash the gate through. I must have missed that. Yeah, you can actually see the gate being smashed through. My necromancer is also on the wall as well. I'm going to try and get him round the flank to help me. It would have been nicer if I had someone like Manfred up there, because Manfred's a really good fighter. So if I got him behind the enemy and managed to raise dead or something, that would have been so brutal. Oh, did you hear the dwarven charm there? He was like, slay all necromancers. That's really cool. So I'm going to start bringing some men behind it because I need to break them at the gate here. So I'm going to throw in my general. I'm going to give a bit of hit points to my warriors fighting there. Which you can see, they're raising their HP now. I'm going to throw in my necromancer. So this might not be the best idea because my necromancer really isn't the best fighter. He's a level 1 magic caster. So it's not like he's a warrior or anything. But he's still going to be doing half decent because he's not up against a huge amount of enemies. And he has a lot of support as well. Oh my, that was epic. Look at him just sending people flying. Really, really cool. And apparently if you hover over that, which I don't think in this video, it actually shows you the magic spell at use there. So you can kind of in the midst of battle see, oh, that unit's got this buff on it, so I need to do this to it. Which is really cool, you know, just showing you tooltips. And my numbers, all my zombies are just arriving over these ladders now. So even though we're receiving a debuff, it's just the sheer number of them are just starting to overwhelm the dwarfs. Again, as this was only a small dwarven garrison, they're just not going to be able to withstand my damage. Going to move up the rest of my zombies now, just to help out, just get as many on the wall as possible. And I'm starting just to swing through this gate. The dwarven numbers are definitely starting to crumble. Going to keep on raising the HP of my zombies and my skeletons. Keep on keeping them strong. Good job there. Got lots of XP and HP on them, guys. And now we're just kind of surrounding the rest of these dwarven miners. And they don't really stand a chance. But, you know, taking this gate was a really instrumental part of this battle. And they're kind of surrounded now. They don't have anywhere to go. They're retreating now to the city centre, I believe. Starting to fall back. They've lost the walls. Fly, you fools. Some Thunderers are still holding. So this just goes to show, even though I'm overwhelming these dwarfs on every front, you know, the dwarfs are holding strong. And now there's just a little march to the city centre now. I think they do have a few units left at the city centre ready to defend. Obviously, I can't see them right now due to line of sight. But just take a moment just to look at this mountain hold of ZHUFBAR. It just looks absolutely spectacular. You know, these tunnel battles are really, really awesome. I just can't wait to get like look how much of a fortress I'm not even using right now as well. You know, having like a 4v4 or something like that on this map would just be absolutely insane. Gonna move up my direwolves now because I suddenly realized, oh, I haven't actually used these bad boys and I want to see what they look like. So I'm gonna move up these direwolves now. I'm just cleaning up the rest of the Thunderers. So you can see a lot of my dead bodies actually along this wall. And there's still a decent unit of Dwarven warriors here. I'm not sure if they're Longbeards or not. I didn't have enough time to look. But you know, that's a sturdy unit. I mean, you can just see my zombies just marching through the streets. Just the hordes just marching. Well, I guess running, really. Just mindless, just with one task of to destroy the enemy. And they're just going to carry on pushing through these streets. They're getting volleyed at by the Quarrelers right now, which are actually on the city centre. I think I have like 3 or 4 units of them along this road. And they're going to meet some... I think the enemy have some Thunderers and some Quarrelers left. I've got a few units left, and there's also some miners there retreating back to the city centre, ready to make their final stand. Yeah, there's some Dwarven warriors here, and some Quarrelers over here, volleying at a unit ready to come in. They're cheering. Oh, I just can't wait to play as the actual dwarf. They just look so much fun. I've got some of my skeleton warriors coming now. I think these are swordsmen. They're getting shot in by the side. And the funny thing was, I didn't actually tell my swordsman to... Oh, I got point blank volleyed there. Brutal. I didn't actually tell them to move in because I'm trying to catch cinematic shots. They were just like chilling there. That's where I told them to go. And then I suddenly realized, oh yeah, I'm actually controlling this battle. This isn't a replay or anything. So I had to go ahead and charge them in. And now I'm going to move up my direwolves for an epic final charge. They are really cool. And this will pretty much end the rest of the battle. So if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to drop a like and a comment, and also subscribe for lots more content. I'm going to be following all the way up to Total War Warhammer, and I'm super excited. What I got to play was a lot of fun, and it was really awesome. If you want to go check out my other video where I'm fighting at Caradin against the goblins as the undead, make sure to go ahead and click on the link in the description down below. Also, let me know your thoughts on this game so far and what you're most excited for, like what unit you really want to see. And I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.